This is 2040. The story begins with a boy named Mizuhara, who confesses his love for Arisa. They had been together since childhood, and Mizuhara told her that next year he would not be here because he got cellular sclerosis. Arisa checked and came to know that the cure wasn't available right now. A pharmaceutical company with an AI was working on the cure. Mizuhara told her that the cure would be discovered in 4 to 5 years. Until then he'll go to cold sleep. He asked her if she'd say yes to Maeda's proposal because he didn't want her to wait for 5 long years. She cried and left without saying anything. Now he was going with his elder brother Ryu and younger sister Mahiru. Mizuhara thought that this era was very developed because everything was done by machines and the human who wanted to work could also work. Now he went to the hospital and the doctor told him the process. Mahiru was sad, and the nurse told him that he had to take off his neckpiece. Suddenly they heard something and she was Arisa requesting to go inside. Rio let her in and she said good night to Mizuhara. He thanked her for coming and gave her his necklace. She was a little sad. Now it was time for sleep. He was in a capsule and Arisa while crying told him that she'd wait for him till these 5 years. He understood this and tried to touch her hand through the glass. When he woke up he saw a girl standing there. He thought she was Arisa, but she was Mira. There were only girls around him. He went to his doctor, and she told him that he was all right now. When he asked about his doctor she told him that he had died 4 years ago. Suddenly Mira came in and told him that she'd tell him what happened when he was sleeping. Now they were going in a car and Mizuhara was silent and was a little scared when Mira told him that 4 years ago a virus attack, called the MK virus, had changed everything and the population had been halved. Because the virus is transformable by air and no vaccine has been made against it, he got shocked and got out of the car. He started running. He was thinking about his family. He called a woman, but without answering she ran, and all the women were staring at him. He ran and stopped because he hadn't seen a single man till now. Mira came and told him that the MK virus symbolizes the men killer virus, and the world's male population had decreased by 99.9%. Only 5 men are alive including him, and others are in cold sleep. They are immune against the virus somehow, and the relation between cellular sclerosis, its treatment, and its immunity is still unknown. He was shocked and silent when a woman tried to come close, but his guards saved him. Mira told him as many as he could, and on her knees, she asked him to mate with the women of the world to save mankind. Mizuhara was watching the news 4 years old when everything had happened. Women decided to take over all the political seats and started ruling the world because all the men died, and the living men were in cold sleep. Mira told him that now he was the only hope of mankind. He asked why they didn't use artificial ways to make babies. She told him that they had tried this already and it was a failure because the male child died due to no immunity against the MK virus. She told him that they had given numbers to the men in cold sleep. The number one who woke up before him had donated his sperm, but it was useless because the immunity would be transmitted by mating. He asked to go home, but she gave him a screen and asked him to choose a girl to mate with. He refused to do so. She said there was someone he could believe. Mahiru ran to him and she was very happy to see him. She showed him Ryu, who was also cold sleeping. While walking he asked Mahiru about Arisa. She told him that she had also missing for 4 years. He tried to call her, but she didn't answer it. Now Mira was talking with a member of the women's union, which was made 4 years ago to maintain all the works. Mira told her that Mizuhara wasn't ready to mate with anyone, and she remembered why she was there. Mizuhara was thinking about Arisa and suddenly the door opened and Mira came in. She removed her clothes and kissed him. He remembered about Arisa and stopped her. He told her that he didn't have feelings for anyone else than one person. She put on her clothes and left. She was standing at the door and Naniko came to her and told her that she felt sorry for her. She tried to badmouth, but Mira defended her grace and Naniko left. Mizuhara was still thinking about Arisa and he remembered about the necklace and opened the location app. The next morning Mira took him to a room, showed him girls and asked him to select a girl to mate with, but he again refused her. She started requesting that if they refused to mate then humanity would be finished soon. Mizuhara told her that he loved someone and wanted to find her because if he had kids he wanted to get babies from her. He asked her for a month to search for Arisa and if he'd never found her then she gave him a condition to mate with a girl every night she'd choose for him. On the other side Hino, number 1, was relaxing and was watching Rina's movie. Naniko came and asked him to select a girl. When she saw the screen she asked about Rina. Hino was waiting and Rina came and she was looking vicious. and they both started it by removing their clothes. They had a very lovable time together. Mizuhara and Mira were having breakfast. Mahiru was also there. He was enjoying the breakfast and Mira told him that the chefs were from different countries and he could order any food he wanted. Mahiru got angry about such protocol for him. Mira was really enjoying her food and she ate a lot. Mizuhara went to his room and he met with Hino and Naniko. Hino told him that this was reality and now they could enjoy themselves with any girl they wanted. But Mizuhara denied and they left while taking a bath. Mizuhara was thinking about Arisa and suddenly the light turned off. By chance he touched something weird. When the lights turned on he saw she was Akane, and he remembered that Mira told him about his personal guard and nurse. She messed him up with wine and started licking to clean, but he got faint. When he woke up he saw Akane on the couch. She was sleeping and a cute little girl on his bed named Sway. They both were shocked and Mizuhara thought that she was his nurse. Akane woke up and came close to him. They slept together on a bed and Mizuhara wasn't able to take even a nap. The next morning they went to the animal lab and Mizuhara was still sleepy. Mira asked why they were there and he told her that the transmitter showed the location of that lab. Suddenly a bear attacked Sway but he saved her. Mizuhara told them to rescue but Akane told Sway to complete her job. Sway defeated the bear with a single kick. He was shocked when he came to know that Akane was his nurse because she band-aided him by tearing her skirt. The staff apologized for their mistake and someone was listening. Now, when they went to Arisa's office Mira told him that Arisa was also researching on the vaccine of MK virus and went missing after that. He saw a picture and remembered that Arisa had a dog in childhood and because of that dog she wanted to be a doctor and he also promised her that he'd also become a doctor to save everyone. He told Mira that he made a decision that he'll make an antidote to this MK virus. Mahiru was hanging out when she saw the news that Mizuhara was live and he said that he'd work hard to find the cure for the MK virus. A hooded person wearing that necklace was also watching the news. Mahiru was angry with Mizuhara and suddenly she saw a stuffed animal in Arisa's stuff and got a bracelet in that. Mizuhara went to the washroom and Arisa had recorded something in it. She told him that the MK virus was man-made and she was missing him. She was crying. Now Mizuhara went to Mira and she was eating. He asked her about the MK virus and they started walking. He told her that now he was fully hoping he could find a cure, and Mira apologized for putting his life in danger. But he said she hadn't to be worried about him. On the other side, the women's union was saying that number 2 was a total failure, but the number 1 Hino had mated with 100 women and 8 of them were pregnant. The Minister of Public Welfare was talking with Karen that the plan would start very soon. This was 2040 when some schoolboys were bullying a boy named Shota. They teased him. When he was walking everyone was staring at him like a piece of shit. He saw a boy who was his friend. He saved him from bad guys one day and from that day he didn't talk with him properly. While in his music class, his teacher Yuzuki asked him if he was alright and he told her that nobody liked him. She told him that he was special and he didn't have to listen to others. He said he wasn't feeling well too. After school, he went to the hospital and the doctor told him that he had cellular sclerosis. The next day in school Yuzuki told the class about his illness, and nobody was interested and they started moving out. Yuzuki was sorry but Shota left by saying goodbye. When he was going he saw a boy and a girl mating. They bullied him again and left. At home, Shota got a phone call from his sister. She was sorry that she would not be able to come for a warm goodbye. The next day in the hospital he went to cold sleep successfully. Now when he woke up he saw Karen. She was very happy about his wake up. She told him that she was his attendant. She showed him his room and told him that his father was also alright. The next day he went to the classroom. He was nervous. While in the class all the girls were staring at him. After class Shota and Karen were walking and she took him to Yuzuki. She hugged him and was very happy to see Shota. Karen told her that it was time to give him a reward and left. Yuzuki asked him if he was free tonight. While in the park he was thinking about Yuzuki's tonight plan. Karen came to him and started showing him girls. She started complimenting their bodies and hot figures. But he wasn't interested in them, so he went to Yuzuki's room. They sat and started talking without looking at each other. Suddenly Yuzuki turned off the lights and started removing his clothes. She started licking him and they spent their night with great lust. The next day in the school a girl named Natsu tried to talk to him and she came close to him. He was a little embarrassed. Another girl named Shunka came to him and started talking to him. Natsu got jealous and left. Now in the music class, Yuzuki came to him and asked if Shota was alright. They again started mating. Karen was telling the Minister of Public Welfare that everything was going well. What will happen next? Subscribe to the channel to get the latest updates.